This time I'll call to order the Solano Community College District Governing Board meeting of December 6th, 2023. And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance.
Church.
Present.
Trustee Cargo Reed. Here. Trustee Cara.
Here.
Trustee Lopez Latta.
Here.
Trustee Thurston.
Here.
Trustee Young.
Present.
Trustee Voice.
Present.
We have quorum.
Good. So next item is item 4, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move agenda. I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda is approved. Comments from members of the public? Are there any? So now the board will move into closed session, then we'll recess the regular meeting and we'll reconvene the meeting at 7 o'clock. At which time we'll report out any action we take.
I'm Andre Williams. I'm the lab tech at Solano Community College for welding in the CTE department. I went to Solano, I got my 2-year degree in mechatronics, and then I got hired here probably about a year after that. I think the program's good. We have a lot of equipment here, different shears, iron workers, we have a plasma table, plasma cutters, saws. We can do all different processes of welding from TIG, stick to MIG. So we have it all here. So we have real good relationships with the unions. So if you come here, finish some classes, get at least a certificate, you should be able to get into the door almost any union. So if you want to get into welding, no matter if it's a career path or something you want to do around home, this is a place we have all the stuff you can do and learn, and we'll teach it all. Solano Community College is the place for you.
If you're interested in the CIS programs or any CTE programs such as robotics or auto tech or welding, get in contact with us. You can send me an email and I will definitely get back to you. If you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours and set up a time where we can meet and we can discuss the various programs that we have to offer. I know that Solano College has something for every high schooler in Solano County. There's no doubt about it. It's just that we want to have the opportunity to train you and to teach you so you can grow and enhance your ability to get gainful employment, but not only that, to be a continuous learner.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller, and I'm a librarian here at Solano Community College, and I want to welcome you to our new Library and Learning Resources building. This library has been built for you. We have many areas for you to study in, from quiet, silent areas to reservable group study rooms, as well as large tables for you to study and work together. We have a textbook reserve collection that holds the textbooks for most, if not all, of your classes. We have computers for you to use. We have laptops that you can check out and take home. We have calculators for you to use with your math courses. We have bones that you can use with your science courses. You can get further information at www.solano.edu/library. This is our virtual library where all of our virtual library services are available, including chat service with our college librarians. Also on this page, you have access to our article databases for scholarly research, as well as our popular magazine service, where you can actually flip through magazines like Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine. We have our ebook collections, we have our film databases, and many, many other resources for you to use for your school needs as well as for fun. Our librarians and staff are here to help you with all of your research needs.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity we have here at Solano to get involved in our advanced manufacturing program is spectacular. I can't emphasize there's nowhere else in California you can work with hands-on, this amount of equipment, this different types of equipment, automation equipment, robotics equipment. It is a standout program that we have here that's unlike any others in our region, and it will lead you to a rewarding career. I have all my students, getting jobs without a problem. You usually get to pick which jobs they want. I can't emphasize enough how a program like this can just really yield a great successful career. If you want more information, please contact me. Again, Douglas Green, my email address, douglas.green, just like the color, @solano.edu. Hope to see you here.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand against hate.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will be an advocate for social justice.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
I will support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
В борьбе с расизмом и ненавистью я буду бороться всегда, стискивая кулаки и сглатывая слезы.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, if necessary, I will get into good trouble.
Sa paglaban ng rasismo, hindi ako tatahimik.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, I will speak my truth.
I will not be silent.
I will prioritize community.
I will be an advocate.
In the fight against racism and hate,
We commit to doing better, to being bolder, and to contributing to a climate where hate is unacceptable and mindfulness and compassion are the norms.
We are Solano College.
I'm Andre Williams. I'm the lab tech at Solano Community College for welding in the CTE department. I went to Solano, I got my 2-year degree in mechatronics, and then I got hired here probably about a year after that. I think the program's good. We have a lot of equipment here, different shears, iron workers, we have a plasma table, plasma cutters, saws. We can do all different processes of welding from TIG, stick to MIG. So we have it all here. So we have real good relationships with the unions. So if you come here, finish some classes, get at least a certificate, you should be able to get into the door almost any union. So if you want to get into welding, no matter if it's a career path or something you want to do around home, this is a place we have all the stuff you can do and learn, and we'll teach it all. Solano Community College is the place for you.
If you're interested in the CIS programs or any CTE programs such as robotics or auto tech or welding, get in contact with us. You can send me an email and I will definitely get back to you. If you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours and set up a time where we can meet and we can discuss the various programs that we have to offer. I know that Solano College has something for every high schooler in Solano County. There's no doubt about it. It's just that we want to have the opportunity to train you and to teach you so you can grow and enhance your ability to get gainful employment, but not only that, to be a continuous learner.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller, and I'm a librarian here at Solano Community College, and I want to welcome you to our new Library and Learning Resources building. This library has been built for you. We have many areas for you to study in, from quiet, silent areas to reservable group study rooms, as well as large tables for you to study and work together. We have a textbook reserve collection that holds the textbooks for most, if not all, of your classes. We have computers for you to use. We have laptops that you can check out and take home. We have calculators for you to use with your math courses. We have bones that you can use with your science courses. You can get further information at www.solano.edu/library. This is our virtual library where all of our virtual library services are available, including chat service with our college librarians. Also on this page, you have access to our article databases for scholarly research, as well as our popular magazine service, where you can actually flip through magazines like Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine. We have our ebook collections, we have our film databases, and many, many other resources for you to use for your school needs as well as for fun. Our librarians and staff are here to help you with all of your research needs.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity we have here at Solano to get involved in our advanced manufacturing program is spectacular. I can't emphasize there's nowhere else in California you can work with hands-on this amount of equipment, this different types of equipment, automation equipment, robotics equipment. It is a standout program that we have here that's unlike any others in our region, and it will lead you to a rewarding career. I have all my students, getting jobs without a problem. You usually get to pick which jobs they want. I can't emphasize enough how a program like this can just really yield a great, successful career. If you want more information, please contact me. Again, Douglas Green, my email address, douglas.green, just like the color, @solano.edu. Hope to see you here.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand against hate.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will be an advocate for social justice.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
I will support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
В борьбе с расизмом и ненавистью я буду бороться всегда, стискивая кулаки и сглатывая слезы.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, if necessary, I will get into good trouble.
Sa paglaban ng rasismo, hindi ako tatahimik.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, I will speak my truth.
I will not be silent.
I will prioritize community.
I will be an advocate.
In the fight against racism and hate,
We commit to doing better, to being bolder, and to contributing to a climate where hate is unacceptable and mindfulness and compassion are the norms.
We are Solano College.
Gotta get beyond the consent agenda. We did the consent agenda. Right, someone turn the page. All right, at this time we'll reconvene the regular meeting. And the first item is report of action in closed session, and there was no action taken in closed session. Now I'll invite comments from members of the public. Any requests to speak? So move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion on these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and or removed. Time will be provided before the vote for clarification questions without removing an item from the consent agenda. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, nays? Any nays? Any noes? No. All right. The consent agenda is approved. Now we'll move on to action items, the first of which is human resources, and Salabate is the presenter on this matter.
Good evening, President, Honeychurch, members of the board. I know Dr. Williams has some statements he would like to read about our retiree, but I also want to take a moment, as I did have the opportunity to work with Dr. Young when I first started here on the campus. It was an amazing experience, and I know she's in the audience behind us, so it's going to be hard for me to turn around and look at her because I might break down into tears. She was an amazing advocate for our students. She taught me a thing or two about anatomy as an admin over there in math and science, which was phenomenal, and I just can't express my personal appreciation for the time I had working with her over there in math and science. So with that, I'm going to kick that over to Dr. Williams.
Thank you. I do appreciate having Dr. Young in the audience tonight. She is a vital member of our community. Here's a real short statement that does not in any sense do justice to the work that she's contributed. Dr. Christina Young has been a part of our anatomy program for over 10 years and has had a lasting impact. While watching her classes, one can tell she carries out her duties with ease and love for her students. The students have been treated to an amazing education that will help them in the health fields for the rest of their lives. The math and science division will feel a loss when she is gone. And again, that is from Dean Ryan. Personally, I also want to echo what Sal said. She's not only been a fantastic faculty member in the classroom, she's an active member of our academic senate. She actually reads things that go out and has feedback because she cares so much. The anatomy-based education that the cadaver-based education that we provide to our students is top-notch. And our students go to Davis and they're head and shoulders above the other students in the program because of the training they get here at Solano College. So thank you, Dr. Young. You've still got a couple weeks left, but we will miss you.
Go ahead.
If I could add one more thing, I want to thank Dr. Young for her work in the med school pathway. Dr. Young was involved in that effort years ago when we first started this process, and we now have 2 med school pathways here. And so thank you for being a leader in that. That's really set us apart from so many other community colleges. I also had the pleasure of visiting her anatomy lab one Saturday and held a brain. It was probably the most fascinating experience that I have ever had, and thought maybe I do need to take anatomy physiology after all. But really just an incredible professor, supporter of students. She's seen at least one of our students, seen him off to med school. He's now at UC Davis Med School. And so I really want to express my appreciation to Dr. Young for all the work she's done to really establish us as sort of a destination community college when you're looking and thinking about medicine. So thank you.
All right, thanks for those comments. Thank you very much. This time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the resignation to retire of Dr. Young.
Can we say no?
I know. I was gonna say if you don't want us to make the motion, let us know now. We can. We won't make the motion.
Sorry, you can't go.
I'll make that motion and allow our esteemed professor to retire. Approve for 12A.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the retirement. Dr. Young, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Thanks so much for all your service. We'll move on now to item 12B, which is a change to short-term seasonal periodic student worker and temporary salary schedules. Who's presenting this? Is Sal as well? Go ahead.
Again, thank you, Trustee Honeychurch, President Honeychurch, and members of the board. We are bringing the short-term temp salary schedule to you for approval today, as the state has moved the minimum wage up effective January 1st. So we want to make sure that we're in compliance and over the minimum wage, as we will be with this new salary schedule.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the salary schedule change.
President Honeychurch, I'll make a motion because the next few are for the same reason and same process. I'll make the motion for item 12B, C, D, and E to be approved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further questions, comments? So are these indeed similar matters based on the evidence?
Yes, you are correct. Everything is going up due to minimum wage moving in the state to $16 an hour effective January 1st.
All right, thank you. So there's a motion and a second. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the raises in pay are approved. Next item then is presented by Lucky Lofton, I believe. Item F, which is a lease agreement, the mobile modular for DSA pre-approved modular buildings. Is Lucky available?
Yes, sir. Thank you, President Honeychurch.
I can also speak to it.
This is swing space, by the way.
So this is, oh, there he is. There we go. Okay, hi, can you hear us, Lucky?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Try again, Lucky. You hear me? Can you hear me?
You need to turn on the volume.
Just
Okay. Okay, so
Talk to me. Lucky Lofton, can you hear us?
Yes.
We cannot hear you yet. It's more like a Charlie Chaplin film. It would be a silent
Charlie
film.
Chaplin is.
Yes. All right. Ben Turpin. Lester Keaton.
Can you hear me?
barely. Okay, so while we're trying to fix this, why don't I just share on information about this item. This is about the lease agreement for the modular buildings that we're using for swing space, primarily to accommodate our classrooms in building 300 and building 1600. Many of those classes are classrooms for early college high school students. So we're asking the board to approve this lease agreement.
So is there a motion to approve it? Oh, can you go ahead, Lucky? Can you hear us?
Sound is fixed. I'm available to answer any questions you have.
Are there any questions, Mr. Lofton? Go ahead. If you can.
I was curious if you can talk about, I know there are 8 mobile, not 7 plus 1. Isn't that? Oh, the bathroom. Okay. Well, 8 structures. The question is, how long do we have this lease for?
This would be for 18 months.
18 months. And
Yes.
in terms of buying them, can you just tell us the difference between leasing them and buying them, if that's at all possible? Do you have a rough idea? I don't need I was just wondering, could you explain why we didn't even consider that as an option?
Purchase portable buildings because it isn't something that the district has had an interest in keeping. We've had, many portable buildings on campus before. They serve a purpose as generally as temporary classrooms. We have removed a portable building for childcare. We have removed the portable buildings that used to be in the location we intend to set these new ones. But we are looking for a more robust long-term solution for buildings. A portable building might last 15 to 20 years. And by the time you get to years 5 and beyond, I think they tend to show their age pretty quickly. They're just not as significant a structure as the modular buildings, which we are investing in. We're investing in a modular building for the childcare facility and for the built facility buildings that we've already built. I hope that helps. It's a low standard building. It's a temporary class building.
In terms of our 18 months, have we built in sort of delays in case?
We can extend the lease. Absolutely. That's never been a problem.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm always on the fence about whether or not I should recuse myself when it involves the early college, because I just to full disclosure, my daytime employment is with early college high school, and so I'm a teacher with FSUSD, not with Solano College, and so just one thing to back the program out. So I'll abstain from this if it probably doesn't make a difference in the long run anyway. So just to be clear.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded to approve the lease agreement to Mobile Modular for the pre-approved modular buildings. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
One abstain.
And you abstain. Trustee Voice abstained for the record. Next item is academic affairs presented by Vice President David Williams. It's a renewal of affiliation agreement between Solano Community College and Royal Ambulance of San Leandro. David Williams, Vice President.
Thank you, President Honeychurch, members of the board. You see a number of these throughout the year. This is another renewal for an agreement with our ambulance company that allows our emergency medical services students to ride along and get clinical experience in that field. So we're asking for your approval of this renewal.
So is there a motion to approve the item?
I'll make a motion to approve 12G, the renewal of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks very much. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moves us on to item H, which is sabbatical leave for the academic year 24-25.
Thank you. Our sabbatical committee recently met to review applications from full-time faculty for sabbatical. The committee, we had a number of excellent proposals. The committee awarded 3 here in the agenda today. Professor Jean Lorenz in the art department is going to take a year-long experience to participate in an artist community to get some experience in that and also learn some new techniques to bring back to the college. Professor Michelle Smith, is she still here? Oh, Professor Michelle Smith is going to explore flipped classroom and bring that back to share that back with the campus to help other faculty. I know she'll do a fantastic job with that. And Professor Sarah Barsness in the photo program is proposing a sabbatical to do some additional work in her field as well. So we're very excited for these opportunities for next year, and we're asking for your approval.
All right, thanks. Are there any questions? So these are all proposals that have been vetted and
correct
approved.
Yes, and I believe you have in your packet the award letters that describes probably in a little bit more detail what the proposals were.
Right, so we'll look forward to reports later on their experience.
Sure.
Right.
So is there a motion to approve the sabbatical leave?
I move for approval.
of the sabbatical leave agreement.
Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sabbatical leaves are approved. Next item is item I, contract agreement with Toyota for training, material loan, or donation. Your item.
Yeah, we have an agreement here with Toyota for our auto technology program, similar to what we had with Mercedes-Benz. I was thinking, I had BMW in my head, but it was Mercedes, a car that I can't afford, another one that I can't afford. So thank you, VP Neely.
Oh, please, we can get we can get you in a car today.
Oh, can you? So I thank you, the board, for the raise that you've just approved. Unanimous approval of my raise. Thank you. That was very good. You get a job after you're done with the board here.
Sell cars.
I did too.
I can sell anything.
I did too. Well, luckily we don't have to sell anything here. So Toyota is presenting us with an opportunity to provide us some vehicles for training and provide training materials to our faculty so that they can train our students in Toyota repair.
Good. Any questions on the item? Of course, go ahead.
Correct.
But have they also suggested that after we've trained our students that there'll be jobs available?
I mean, I think one of the advantages of these things is that when students get trained on these vehicles, it makes them desirable employees. And similar to what happened with Mercedes-Benz, similar to our aeronautics program, is where a designated provider for Delta Airlines that provides students the training that they need to go right into a job. So that is our hope, that they would be hired by Toyota. And there's 3 of our students already working for Toyota. Okay,
Nice.
so
Thank you.
so there's
Thank you.
yeah, we hope there's a strong, long-standing connection.
Great, thank you. Do we still have the relationship with Mercedes?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So is there what's that? Go ahead. Is there a motion to approve the contract agreement with Toyota for training and material loan?
Owning a Toyota, I approve.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. So, is it moved and seconded to approve the contract with Toyota? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is under Student Services, Vice President Lisa Neely is the presenter of this additional funding application for general child care with California Department of Social Services. Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Honeychurch. Good evening, members of the board. So this is an opportunity to apply for additional funding from the Department of Social Services for our Early Learning Center. And really what it is a specific ask for 4 additional slots for children, particularly in our toddler program. And what this would enable us to do with the funding that could come with it is to enlarge our capacity for especially looking at the toddler population, particularly 2-year-olds. So we would be able to add an additional classroom if successful. So this is really helpful in the impacted numbers of that particular area of our program. There's lots of need and we want to be able to supply it. So we're asking for the board approval.
All right. Thank you. So is there a motion to approve the funding application for the children?
I move that we approve item 12J.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for bringing that forward. And next item is information items. There's no action required. And Sal Abate is going to talk about the superintendent president job description, I believe.
Good evening again, President Honeychurch, other fellow members of the board. We will also have PPL joining us to answer any additional questions that you may have on the SP job description. But I would like first to let you know that the board subcommittee met earlier today, and that Trustee Lopez Lara will have some changes that the subcommittee would like to recommend to the job description to start this off. So I'm going to kick it over to Trustee Lopez Lara.
Great, thank you. So starting on page 3, we are recommending that under minimum qualifications, we change from 5 years to 3 years. Again, this is just to open the minimum qualifications to encourage a greater applicant pool. Also on page 3, under desirable qualifications, we are recommending to remove senior from senior management experience. And then following along that same sentence, we are also recommending to remove A before with A, so it becomes with significant and progressively more complex. Next, on page 6, we are recommending under ability to, all the way on the last, which is the last line, we are recommending to remove ability to. So it would then become support the board in its decision. And lastly, we are recommending to add, also under the ability to section, the sentence, ability to access and interpret key resources and information in a timely manner.
On these recommendations?
I have, but you want to go first? No? Well, I understand the, yes?
You're on the air.
I'm on the air, okay. I understand the logic of reducing the minimum requirements, but do we need to?
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how we came to the realization that we needed to reduce these. I mean, 3 years, 5 years, 5 years is relatively small for senior level administration for something with the budget that our president is supposed to be in charge of. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so it came highly recommended also under PPL's advisement. And that was just due to some data that, one, we want to make the pool as big as possible when we have them in, so that way we bring them in as applicants and then we can screen out during the interview. Additionally, there is now data showing that folks are spending a little less time at the VP level before they move on, so we certainly don't want to miss out on a great applicant just because they have only been there, because they've been there 3 years or 4 years, even though they may be already ready to move to that next level. Keep in mind, too, this is a minimum qualification, not a desirable qualification. So we do then have our desirable qualifications following, which you will then see it goes up to our desirable qualifications are 10 years. So again, we're just trying to open up the minimum qualifications in case if there is that candidate that feels ready.
Okay.
I don't have any comments about the suggested changes, but I have other comments. Is this the appropriate time for that too?
Can I
Go
ask,
for it, yeah.
apparently Pam and Jim, they're on, but they have to say something in order for them to pop up on the screen. So Jim, Pam, can you say something so we can get your faces on the screen?
Thank you, Lucky.
See? Just like magic. Thank you.
So it's been explained by our trustee about why we're reducing or propose to reduce the minimum qualifications. Can you expand on why that would be a good approach? Nothing.
If you can hear me,
We can, yeah.
okay, great. I'll jump in and then we'll ask my colleague Pam Walker to speak to it. What we're seeing in the searches is a number of people who have been at the director and dean level for a number of years, and then moved into the vice president level, and then are really ready after 3 years. A lot of it, there's a linkage between the minimum qualifications there at the vice president or at the president level is how that's read, and or other positions that report directly to a CEO or a board. Then we look at the 10 years of progressive experience, administrative experience as a desirable qualifications. There are individuals that both Pam and I believe are ready at 3 or 4 years, and we wouldn't want to exclude them. What we have seen is over time, the 7 or 8 years I've been helping with searches, is that people are staying in the vice president positions less time unless they're really planning to be kind of a career, that would be their career end goal, is to be a vice president. But if they're ready to move up, oftentimes they're starting to look after 3 to 4 years. And we would like to include them in the pool for consideration and not automatically have them eliminated by the way it was initially worded.
And again, it's about including them for consideration, but this is meeting the minimum qualification, so that we also don't eliminate opportunity for DEIAA candidates as well, who may have gotten in a little in the last few years, but and have worked very hard in the positions they're in. We're just trying not to eliminate anyone, but this is not to say that the work that the committee won't be doing will be around those desired qualifications. But we want to open that pool so it's not exclusive.
Right. Thank you for that information. Are there any other questions on this?
Yeah, I do have three spots that I wanted to just touch on of things I would love to see. One is on the page 2 in the there's just a list of like different types of programs, and one of the things that we do very well and have a pretty large program is incarcerated ed. And I'd love to see that on the program, because on that list of like programs that we do, just because it is such a unique thing. So if, someone sees that, and then the diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts are kind of sprinkled throughout. Like I wonder if there's a place for like just making a clear paragraph about like DEI efforts and like I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear, but it's like it is talked about diverse students like in different spots, but I feel like it needs kind of a centered outline of part of the job description is like being familiar with and heading DEI efforts on a campus.
A paragraph or something on it.
Yeah, just a clearer statement of it in there, and then the third one would be similarly with the student-centered funding formula. Like there's like information around funding for the college, but I just want to make sure that a candidate knows they should be familiar and active in the student-centered funding formula.
All right, thanks, Trustee Boyce. I agree.
And this is your first time to really deeply look at it, and this is the perfect time to give us those options to kind of add those in.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? So is it your recommendation that we put this on, addressing the superintendent president? Will this come up on the next meeting?
Yes. So if the board would like us to move forward these recommended changes, we will do so and bring it back to the board on the 20th for acceptance for vote.
So is that the consensus of the board, to follow the recommendation of our own trustee and our advisors? May I ask? Of course.
In terms of other superintendent job descriptions that you've seen, where do we fall in terms of the 3-year versus the 5-year?
You mean
We're working on another
versus 5 years?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
We're currently working with another single college district in Northern California. We had a very similar discussion, and the decision was to move from 5 to 3, and then make the desirable qualifications more flexible, and with the same intent. So that's our most current experience. That was just a couple weeks ago. Again, we've seen a trend over time where we are trying to screen people in, which was kind of a way of saying make the minimum qualifications honest, but really minimum. And that way we get a larger pool, and that gives the committee the opportunity to look at the applications, decide who they're going to interview, and then send it forward. But yes, this is what I'm seeing is a pretty common discussion. What I think we have to all remember is 20 years of mediocre service is nothing compared to, say, 3, 4, 5 years of very good service. So we try to find that what we call a sweet spot of having enough experience, but not overweighting on experience. So it means it's not the more years you have, it's the quality of experience you have. Pam?
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's perfect. It's anyone who has survived the pandemic and still a vice president, those 2 years may have done more than 20. So, but the reality is, remember, this is minimum qualifications. It's just to be considered.
All right, well, thanks to both of you for staying up late tonight. Oh, sure.
At 7:30?
Well, it's 12 o'clock in New York. All right, so any further discussion on this item? Well, thanks again to both of you, and thanks to our chairperson of that committee. All right, so we'll move on now to announcements. Are there any announcements? Thanks again. Thanks, everybody. All right, take care. I don't hear any announcements, so we'll move on to items from the board. Any board member have an item they would like to bring forward? If not, we'll entertain a motion under number 19, which is the adjournment. I'll call on our esteemed colleague from Vallejo, A. Marie Young. She was reading the minutes from the last meeting.
She's a math instructor.
I gave her an A.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.